Rosemary oil is that oil that is guaranteed to grow and strengthen your hair, reduce breakage, shedding, hair thinning, regrow edges and bald spots, and improve the overall appearance of your hair. Now, let me show you how to make rosemary oil in two different ways. First, you're obviously going to be needing your rosemary leaves, whether dried or fresh rosemary leaves, whichever one you have, it can get the job done. Now, for this very first method, we are going to be measuring out 4 tablespoons of rosemary. Rosemary contains anti-inflammatory, antioxidant properties. It also contains vitamin B6, iron, calcium, which promotes blood circulation in the scalp, stimulating the hair follicles and thereby improving the growth and strength of your hair. I poured my rosemary into a blender and now I'm going to proceed to my carrier oils. The very first carrier oil I'm going to be using today is my coconut oil. You can use any other oil you want. It's not limited to the ones I use. Coconut oil is rich in fatty acids, vitamins, minerals. It nourishes and moisturizes your scalp deeply, promoting growth, thickness. It also repairs damaged scalp and hair tissues, protects hair from heat damage, dryness, frizz. It also makes the hair softer and shiny. So I added about a half cup of my coconut oil. You can go as high as you want, you can go as low as you want. It all depends on the amount you're aiming to achieve. So the next oil I made use of is my castor oil. Castor oil is a very heavyweight oil, so you might want to not go too high on the quantity you're using. So I added about 1/3 cup of my castor oil. Castor oil contains vitamin E, minerals, protein, ricinoleic acid, which helps reduce scalp inflammation, improves blood circulation to the scalp, moisturizes your hair, promotes faster and thicker hair growth. So once I was done adding all my ingredients, that is all we're going to be using. Once I was done adding all my ingredients, this is what we have, this is what it looks like. So now I'm going to proceed to blending it all together. For this very first method, you're going to need to blend all your ingredients together. The purpose of this blending is to enable the nutrients in my rosemary to fully break down and blend into my oils. Blend this for a couple of minutes or seconds, just enough to get the rosemary fully blended, and that's all. Now from this point, the next thing you're going to have to do is to pour this out into a plate or a bowl or a jar, whatever it is you can use to store, because you're going to have to store this. Once you're done pouring, this is what the face is going to look like. Cover your mixture and place it in a very cool place and then let it sit for a while. You can leave this for a couple of days, weeks, or even months. Okay, the longer you let it sit, the more it infuses. So for the purpose of this video, I left this for 3 days, and once 3 days is over, this is what I have. Like I said earlier, you can leave this for much longer period of time, days, weeks, as long as you want. Just know that the longer you let it sit, the more it infuses, the more the nutrient infuses into your oil. Stir up your mixture to get anyone that might have settled at the bottom and then proceed to sieving it. You know the purpose of this sieving, to extract your oil from the chaff. So you can make use of a sieve like this, just anything with a tiny hole. You can make use of a sieve cloth or a wig cap, stockings, or anything that can just allow for easy passage of the oil and no easy passage of your chaff. So once you're done sieving, you can choose to do whatever you want with your chaff. You can choose to add more oil to it and keep infusing. You can also choose to make a scrub out of it or make a butter out of it as well. There are just so many things you can do with your chaff, okay? So this is how my oil was looking like. It wasn't fully clear. I still had particles of my rosemary still in it. So I'm going to have to sieve it again, but this time with a cheesecloth, something with much tinier holes than the sieve I used earlier. You can choose to do this. You can also choose to skip this step. It all depends on how you want your oil. If you want the particles of the rosemary still in it, it's all up to you. I do not want it, so I'm going to have to sieve the second time. So once I was done sieving for the second time, this was how clear my oil has become, with no particles of the rosemary in it, which is what I was clearly aiming for, and that is what I got. So I gave this a good stir, and yeah, that was just basically it. So the next thing I'm going to do now, which is totally optional, you can choose to do this, you can choose not to, okay. I am going to be adding my essential oil, and I am only going to be adding just one essential oil, my tea tree oil. Tea tree oil helps get rid of dandruff, prevents hair loss, it also prevents hair lice, it treats dry scalp, increases hair growth, adds shine to the hair, and improves the overall scalp health. I added about 12 to 15 drops of my tea tree oil, gave this a really good mix. And yeah, you can choose to add other essential oils you have. You can choose to add whatever oil you want to at this point. It's all dependent on you. So the next thing I'm going to do is to transfer to a bottle. So I was able to get about 100 ml plus of this oil, which is very perfect for me. Yeah, so yeah, that is all you need for this very first method. You can see how easy it is, nothing too hard, nothing too complicated, just your rosemary and then your carrier oils, nothing hard in it. Yeah, so now we are going to proceed to our second method. Now for this second method, we're going to be using the same ingredients and the same measurements we used for the first one. So the first method, we used about 4 tablespoons of our rosemary, which is the same thing we are going to be using for the second method. Then our coconut oil, the same half cup of our coconut oil. Nothing is changing, no measurement is changing. We are using exactly the same things we used for our first method. This is for clarity, okay? Now, after my coconut oil, of course, I'm going to go ahead to add my 1/3 cup of castor oil, and that will be that. Once I was done adding and mixing on my ingredients, the next thing I'm going to do, which is going to be the first different thing from the first method, is to double boil. Yes, we're going to be double boiling. So if you don't like, I understand that some people do not like heating up their ingredients. So that is why you have the first method. But if you do not have a problem with heating up your ingredients and you also want the faster route, the faster process, now this one is for you. If you do not want to go through the long wait of waiting for a couple of days before the first method is ready, you can use this one to start. It is still going to give you the same results, it is still going to give you the same effect. So I double boiled for 8 to 10 minutes on low heat. Now the purpose of this double boiling is to get the nutrients in your ingredients to combine and then infuse together and become one. Once my 8 to 10 minutes was over, I turned off the heat and then brought down my oils to proceed to the next step. So you have to let this cool. You have to let it get cold because you might have to touch it for the next process, okay? And you do not want to burn your fingers or burn your hand. You can also leave it for a couple more minutes or hours. Just know that the longer it stays, the more it infuses. So it's totally up to you to, do it ASAP or leave it for a couple of hours. Now, just like the first one, get your sieving cloth, get whatever you use to sieve, your wig cap, your handkerchief, your cheesecloth, whatever it is, just pour in your mixture into it and allow it to sieve. And as for your chaff, like I explained earlier, you can choose to discard it or you can add more oils to it and then make it into more oil. Okay, allow it to infuse more. You can also make it into a scalp scrub, right? And then you can also use it for your hair butters, whichever one you want to do. It is totally up to you. So this was what I have after I was done sieving it. Note that my oil was very clear. My oil came out very clear, so there was no need to sieve it for the second time. So I'm just going to go along with it this way. So like the first method, like I told you guys, I am going to be using the same ingredients I used for the first method, also for the second method, just for clarity, just to show you can achieve the same result with the same ingredient. Okay, so I added about the same quantity of my tea tree oil, gave it a good mix, and that is all you need to do. I'm also going to go ahead now to transfer this into my bottle, and yeah, that is basically all for this oil, all for this method. You can choose whatever method that suits you. You can choose whatever method is most convenient for you. Just know that whether you use the first or the second method, you're still going to get the same result. You're still going to get the same effective result. Okay, so whichever one you're most convenient and comfortable with, please go with that. I got also the same amount of oil I got from the first method, 100 ml plus, which is also very perfect. Now let's compare the two oils we got from the first and the second method. You're going to notice a visible and clear difference in their colors. One has a darker color, the other one has a lighter color. One is more transparent, the other one is not transparent, and you can tell which we got from which. The darker one we got from the first method and the lighter one we got from the second method. Let me know which of these processes you're going to be trying, which one you've tried, and which one is your favorite amongst the two of them. Thank you so much guys for watching. I hope you found this video very helpful. Please give it a thumbs up, like, comment, share to people you think might need this video, subscribe to me if you've not subscribed. My name is Caroline, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys, and cheers to a healthier hair.